For us, the main sort of values and ideas was to express a sense of stillness. Often when you have the opportunity to design on properties with big views and expansive outlooks, their reactions immediately to sort of reveal everything and show. And so for us, it was trying to find like a element of restraint to sort of amplify what was to come. It was equally as much about the landscape and how the house belonged as part of that, rather than becoming this object within it.
The house is located on Waiheke Island, on the northern side of the island. It's a really beautiful spot where it sort of overlooks a bay and round to a point beyond. It's sort of nestled in between pōhutukawa trees and overlooking a bush canopy with the sort of rugged slope down to the sea below.
We were introduced to the property over a decade ago, and it's been a special collaboration with the clients ever since. The property is quite unique. It's riparian and it descends steeply in a wedge shape from the ridge line to the shore below. One of the important aspects of this project was to establish a foothold early on. So the first part of the process was to design a small, self-sufficient off-grid hut that they could be on the site and occupy the land while working towards their regeneration project. And that allowed a really lovely length of time for us all just to understand what the key aspects of the site were and how that would inform what was to come with the future home.
It was important to the clients that the house was an appropriate scale for 2 people, which it would be used for most of the time. Also that it would work for them as they aged. They are able to live completely self-sufficiently on one level, and then the house is able to expand with these more functional spaces below for when they've got the wider family coming to stay. Early on, we established quite a clear design intention with these anchor walls that bisect the site. There are a series of parallel walls that kind of ground the house into the site and the landscape around it. We really wanted to gently reveal the view. So this was a way to break that up and frame it into a more intimate and human kind of scale. The second step in the process was to skew those anchor walls to cradle the natural contour of the land better and really focus your eye down into the bay as well as to the distant views. This became quite a key move in working better with the natural contour of the land. The roof was then positioned on top of this, which forms a unique parallelogram shape. Then the final move in the process was to infill and sort of punch in the programmatic needs of the house between these anchor walls.
When you arrive at the property, it's a gentle descent down to the front entrance. It's flanked by pōhutukawas on either side, and then the introduction of these landscape mounds provides an opportunity to sort of buffer and soften the single level home that you see. The anchor walls, being dark and quite recessive, really draw you through the home, and you start to get glimpses of these big views beyond. There are 2 apertures at each end that sort of give you the chance to sort of see things in a more proximate way. And as you walk through the front door, there's quite a focused gesture, I guess, to push you through the home. At that point is what we call the pear deck. It's this one element which breaks beyond the form of the parallelogram. It was a move that we thought was really important to then offer everything, and it sits above the tree canopy and gives you this sort of broad aspect down into the bay below. To your left, you enter the kitchen. From this point, you look over the dining space to the views beyond. The living space is adjacent to this and provides this connection to the covered outdoor spaces. Behind you, the courtyard opens up to reveal the sort of soft, hunkered area within the garden itself. As you move back through the centre of the home, the main bedroom is adjacent with its ensuite and laundry space. As you descend down the staircase, there are 2 bedrooms on the lower level and a bathroom. Moving through the space, you end up into the garden and the hot tub area beyond. I think the layers of space was something that was a really special part of this process. So while we created this formal framework with these anchor walls and the sort of floating floor plates, it then became an understanding of materiality, and we wanted quite a reduced palette. So we sort of picked 3 tones as the dark tones, the warmer tones of the timber, and then these earthy colours that really inform, I guess, the ground in which we come from, and then what's behind us is sort of the landscaping and the context. So Waiheke has this really lovely geography. It's got a lot of the stone, which is seen everywhere, but it was sort of trying to pick out moments of that and express it in a delicate way. A theme that sort of runs through the house is these sort of deeper reddy orangey tones, and we wanted to express a variation in texture rather than colour palettes as such. So we've got, tiling on hearths or an exterior, a chimney, or quite a bold curved staircase that sort of descends to the levels below, and always it was just about a gentle play with those.
We worked with the talented Xanthi White to come up with a landscaping plan that helped to enhance this feeling of wanting to be constantly connected to the landscape. The eaves provided this great place to welcome in the garden into the house. And this results in a feeling where pretty much anywhere in the living space you always have a view out into the garden, and the landscape really feels constantly in connection with you. So I'm particularly proud of the layers of occupation in this house. You really live in and around the house. There's always, spaces to be under the eaves, out in the sun, the courtyard, the deck. Within the house, you're constantly connected with the landscape. So there's this real sort of layer of inhabiting the house. I love the way that the house sort of slowly celebrates and reveals the views to you as you move through it. You're sort of constantly getting these different framed aspects of the view rather than revealing it to you all at once. It feels like a really sort of gentle transition. One of my favourite spots to sit in the house is on the built-in window seating, leaning against a cushion, looking out at the view with the big sliding windows open.
If someone was to walk through this home, I would hope they felt a sense of stillness. To us, it was an important consideration from the start, is how to celebrate what you have, but in a beautiful, focused way. There's so much to see, but there's also so many opportunities to reveal that in a gentle way.